Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Sonicomics, where I review the Sonic comics. And I'm switching things up a bit. There's been a number of people who basically said, like, I don't want to watch a 40-minute video on you diving into every little detail of the Sonic comic that you're doing the review of. And you know what? I think that is a totally fair thing to say. I mean, 40 minutes is a long time. Making that video takes a long time. So instead, I'm doing what I kind of originally wanted before I decided to get too ambitious and just do a broad overview of why or why not you should get a certain comic. Now, this week, month, I don't know when these videos are set for, we are looking at the Champions arc of Sonic the Hedgehog. That is Sonic the Hedgehog number 268 to 271. Those are big numbers, but you know what? This is, by far, my favorite arc I've ever read from the Sonic comics. Now, my reasons, though, may be different from your reasons why you may like it or dislike it. Now, this is an adaptation of the Sonic the Fighters video game, which not a lot of people have played. It's the fighting game from arcades. It was ported to the Sonic Gems collection, and then it's now available on PS3 and Xbox 360 as a standalone game. That's the best version. I highly recommend picking it up. It's worth even at least, it's like $5 and worth a laugh for friends. Like, that's, even if you don't enjoy it, you'll get laughs out of friends with it because it is rather ridiculous. But the interesting thing is this is actually set during the Sonic Unleashed adaptation. It's not going necessarily against Sonic Unleashed, but instead of having it, you know, Sonic has to get all the Chaos Emeralds and stuff, instead, like, this is him getting one of the Chaos Emeralds from winning the tournament. So there's a number of changes to the overall story, if you will. For example, there is no Death Egg Mark II, or was it whatever it was in the Sonic the Fighters, because that game had, like, no story, but the little story that it did have is not here. What is here is the most amazing assortment of callbacks and references to everything that Sonic stands for in terms of games. Going all the way back to Sonic on the Game Gear, going all the way to Sonic on the Master System. It's like, and then up to the newest games. It spans the entire thing and is pure Sonic game fan service from start to beginning. And as a Sonic game fan, I loved this arc. Everything about it. One of the things that was consistently awesome was the art. I have zero complaints about the art in these. They're done amazingly. A little more cartoony, but because of that, like, the facial expressions get to be so well done. They are so artistically amazing. The action sequences are actually action-packed, and they don't feel like, you know, action in comics to me is it's either really good or not that good. Here it is so good. Like, it was top grade action, and I mean, for a fighting arc, a literal tournament arc, it was amazing. The few complaints that I could see people having are the fact that this is really taken out from any of the comic characters. I can't, like, you'll still need to know because they do make some appearances, but they're literally just cameos. It is almost 100% game cast, and some new characters, but also callbacks. I'm not going to spoil any of the characters, just that, like, you won't believe who gets to make an appearance. If you're a Sonic fan of, and I said the games, but there's also stuff from the old TV shows, which are canon now. Which took place, which is really cool. Apparently, like, the old Game Gear and Master System games are, number one, are canon, but they're taking place at the same times as the old TV shows, like the old TV shows. Like, this is pre, you know, like, Sonic the Hedgehog 1. It's such a cool idea that those are, like, prequels, and honestly, I cannot stress enough, this is my favorite arc I've ever read in a comic, because it is just, you know, so fan service laden with how much there's callbacks, but, like, even standing on its own, it's really good. But if you're not as big of a fan of the games, it might not be for you, but definitely, if you have played, you know, 3 or 4 Sonic games, you'll find references to those 3 or 4 everywhere, and it is awesome. So this one gets a big ol' yes. Please give this a read. You could probably go to your comic book store and pick them all up for around $20. or you could wait for the graphic novel version, which is quite nice, where it's all together. It's going to take a while. They usually take a couple months to get those out, and those are nice and all together. You can get them on Archie's website or through an app on your phone. Regardless, I highly recommend you read these. These are such a great adaptation. A little bit on the skimpy side for the more comic-y fans, but definitely for fans of the games. For newcomers who just want to, who want to get more into the comics and you've only played the games, this is another good just jumping in point. All the callbacks are stuff that you can just sort of understand because they're mostly game callbacks too, which is nice. And finally, if you're as excited for Worlds Unite as I am, which I have bought a subscription to, all the issues for, then yes, this one gets a big ol' recommended from me 100%. It's amazing. Finally, I guess a little announcement. Well, number one, that's about how short these videos are going to be now, so if you don't like that, feel free to leave a comment. I want to hear feedback. If this is too short, too general for you, without getting into spoiler territory, it's your choice. It really is. Leave comments just responding to that. But I will be doing issue-to-issue reviews on Worlds Unite. And then finally one video at the end as a whole, possibly with some other people in to talk about it. I talk to a lot of my friends on Twitter about the comics, and I see them, and I might bring some friends in, might try to get in contact with them. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm signing off. Thank you all for listening to Sonicomics number 3 for the Champions arc of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog. And next time we'll see what's next. Again, leave any recommendations for comics in the the comments section below. Thank you all for watching. Ciao.